Welcome to Keto Meals and Recipes.com. Today I will continue with my series of Japanese recipes, which were inspired by our 5-day visit to Kyoto and then a 2-day visit to Tokyo. In both of these places, we had the opportunity to see many of the beautiful Japanese temples, historical buildings, and while there, we also had the opportunity to learn about Japanese history, culture, and enjoy the culinary experience unique to Japan. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to make an absolutely delicious, healthy, clean keto, sugar-free, gluten-free, and nutritious oven-roasted Japanese teriyaki salmon. To help you decide on a serving size that best suits your needs, I want to let you know that the teriyaki salmon has a macronutrient ratio of 0.6 to 1. The salmon has a very high protein component, and that's why the keto ratio is so low. It also has only 1 gram of total carbs, 0.2 grams of dietary fiber, resulting in 0.8 grams of net carbs, and the full serving only has 232 calories. And for this recipe, you only need 2 ingredients. The first is a wild sockeye salmon. Before I forget, make sure that when you're buying salmon, buy the salmon that has the skin on. And the second ingredient is my keto teriyaki sauce and glaze, which I make with the gluten-free and sugar-free tamari. By the way, the links to all the mentioned videos and the printable recipes will be posted in the description box below. Now let's get started and make this exceptionally easy oven-roasted salmon. Begin by first rinsing your salmon fillet and then patting it dry really well. While I'm making this recipe, I'll also share a few tips on what I do to ensure that each time I make it, the salmon will be moist and flaky and done to perfection. And now it's time to get the teriyaki glaze and coat the top and the skin side of your salmon. And don't be afraid to be generous with the teriyaki sauce. And teriyaki sauce is very versatile, and I use it on quite a number of recipes, so please keep watching to the end, where I will share with you not only other recipes I use the teriyaki sauce on, but also how to turn this teriyaki salmon into a complete meal. In other words, what side dishes I would serve with it. Here's an option you have. You can either grease your baking sheet with olive oil or place a sheet of parchment on the baking sheet and then place the glazed skin side down on the baking sheet. Having done that, spread the rest of your teriyaki glaze on top of the fillet. Although you can proceed and put this in the oven right away, to get the best flavor, I like the marinade to sit on the fish for about 30 minutes and up to an hour, no more than that. And a few minutes before I'm ready to put the fish in the oven, I like to preheat my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. Transfer the baking sheet with the salmon into the middle position of your preheated oven and set your heat to top and bottom and timer for 10 minutes. The total baking time will depend on how thick your salmon fillet is, but it should not be more than 15 minutes. There are several different ways to test to make sure that your salmon is done properly. One way is to use a fork, stick it into the flesh, and see if it'll spread easily and if it's flaky. However, I prefer to use a food thermometer because it takes the guesswork out of trying to decide if your fish or whatever meat you're doing is done. And the best place to test is by sticking the tip of the thermometer into the thickest part of the fish. When your fish is done, just remove it from the oven and let it rest in the baking sheet for about 10 minutes before cutting. As you can see, the portions are quite large. I want the meal to be not only tasty, but satiating. By the way, leftovers can be stored in a well-sealed container in your refrigerator for up to 5 days. And if you have leftovers, the teriyaki salmon itself can be used to make sushi or my Korean gimbap. Now here are some vegetable side dishes I like to serve in order to make this into a complete meal. One of our go-to side dishes for many Asian recipes is my Japanese bean sprout salad. This salad is super quick to make, and you can do the entire recipe while the salmon is in the oven. Or if you prefer a different side dish, you could make my 5-minute ginger cauliflower stir-fried rice. It depends on the day, but I usually like to have a second vegetable side dish. My family really likes the roasted butternut squash salad because the sweetness of the butternut squash is a great complement with the teriyaki salmon. Or another side dish for your consideration is my keto Thai green salad, in which I use crispy jicama. Although there's a variety of different side dishes I haven't mentioned, one of our other favorite go-to recipes, and especially when strawberries are in season, is my strawberry avocado spinach salad with a balsamic vinaigrette. This side dish goes with almost anything, but is especially wonderful with this salmon. Now, I've given you some suggestions. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you would serve with this teriyaki salmon. I'm always looking for inspiration. As I mentioned at the beginning, you should double or triple the recipe for the teriyaki sauce and glaze. I use it in a lot of different recipes, like my teriyaki chicken, my teriyaki steak, and I will also feature it in a future video for another recipe. If you have stayed with me all the way to the end, I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch my entire video. I hope you come back when I post my next one. Until next time, have a happy and healthy day. Cheers!